Hey folks, today's video is sponsored by the letter H for hope. Oh my God, it doesn't look good. I'm not gonna lie, it looks terrible. We are on the verge of a serious crisis. We are in a crisis, on the verge of a total social, economic, ecological breakdown. So yeah, how does one find hope in all of this chaos, all of this disruption and destruction and greed and hatred and hopelessness, I guess you could say? Well, it's a big question to answer. And as a privileged white middle-aged male, it's hard for people to take me seriously. And to be honest, I'm not inspired by people like me. I'm inspired by people like someone in Ireland who has just been through some travesty. Say their son was shot by this guy, and then all of a sudden 5 years later they come together and find peace and harmony with each other. It took work, it took cooperation, it took communication, it took all kinds of forgiveness and all kinds of processing, but boom, they found it. And that inspires me. The bigger ones, the bigger pictures, usually when there's extreme suffering and calamity, people have risen to the occasion time and time and time again, whether it's that example or if there's an earthquake or a tsunami coming through. The whole town comes together, and sometimes there's a little bit of looting and stuff, and that's what the media focuses on. But if you look into the real story, it's thousands of examples of service and of a cooperation. And so that's our only hope, is cooperation and coming together and loving, accepting each other. And so it's not all just a bunch of hippie shit. This stuff's for real. And so as far as the loving and accepting, and of course the journey begins when you find harmony within yourself, at least enough harmony to move forward into the community, to participate, to volunteer, and to cooperate with other organizations, foundations, societies that are making steps towards bringing more harmony and peace and a common sense revolution. I think is what we need. You know, it's not rocket science. One of the big issues is that we are all sort of divided into our own little pockets of this identity, and so you've got, somebody over here who's a vegan, and they really like that Christmas song "Cold Outside," and so they're in, so they're not with all the vegans. They're just with the vegans who like that song, who don't have cars, who don't even eat honey, not to pick on the vegans, for God's sakes, that's all they need. But just as an example, it's our society is just all these little pockets, and now it's like they're not even pockets and they're not even groups. They're just individuals. We've all become these individuals. And so our first task, so I've been told and taught, is that is getting over our own insecurities and our own issues and our own blocks and our own sense of separation from others, and from the unity that connects us all, from whatever you believe that to be, a God or Buddha or the universe or the Mother Earth or whatever. But the sense that we're all in this together for the love of God, whatever you believe in, that is true. We're here. We're doing this. We're on the same mother ship. And so, yeah, that's the big one, the identity thing. If we could get past that, and so it is really about the individual steps and breakthroughs coming towards each other. And so I just really want to strongly encourage people to just find it in their hearts to forgive and allow people to be the way they are. if someone's being violent towards you or someone you know, do whatever you can do to make that stop. And usually there's a story behind the violence, and they had violence in their life, and now they're and just carrying the torch of the shame and blame. And so let's remember that at the end of it, when you're confronting violence, that you would like there to be some harmony. And so if we could move forward in that direction of peace and harmony towards even the injustices. And again, be fueled up. Go for it. Be like, oh, it's got to change. And nothing changes because people are so subservient and just saying, oh, all we need is love. So there's that fine line of altruism and forgiveness and getting shit done. And I think we can do both. And so, and again, that's just more separation. People are like, we don't need any more prayers. That's not what we need. We need action. And people on one side, it's like, oh, I really believe that praying and thinking well for others is going to help. So just try not to focus on the separation, and focus, please, more on what it is that brings us together. And so there's lofty words like freedom and justice, and love, and harmony, and so that's great. But what does it really mean? What do those words really mean, right? And so, if instead of seeing that these certain groups and these certain people that you're so frustrated by are the cause of the problem, do you know what I mean? Instead of that being the main focus, why not focus on what it is that you have in common with these people? Like, say, the classic right now, and God, I never mention his name, and I barely think about this poor bastard, but Trump. Okay, and so there's a huge divider right there. You either are for Trump or you're not, and that's it. That's definitely divided. It's like, it's not. It's totally not. If you hang out with some of these people that are Trump supporters, and you really get to know them and come from a place of harmony and peace and non-judgment, you can hear, maybe beneath between the lines, but that there is this quest for fairness, this quest for being a cooperative, loving, shining part of society. And people aren't feeling that, and people are afraid, and people are feeling excluded, and so they're reacting. And so, no offense, Trump supporters, I don't want to make this a us or them, but that, for me, it's a reaction. To have somebody in charge like him is just a reaction to society's momentum towards sort of, greed's a strong word, but towards basically the individual and every person for themselves, and sensationalism. And so we need to pull the brakes, push the brakes on this on the individuality and the individualism of what we need and what we want, and we really need to open up. And so don't look at me, new age hippie white guy, full of shit. Look around the world every day. Millions of examples are happening where people are opening up and accepting and loving each other, even after tragedy, even after extreme separation. So, like I said, just look for that. And when you look around the room, and when you look around a party, you look around social media, look for the unity. Look for what binds us. And I feel like that's the only hope we have. That's the only hope we have for not killing ourselves, basically, as a society. And it's about coming together and loving ourselves and loving people for their uniqueness and their differences, and getting out there. I never do quotes, But I liked this one. I don't know where the hell I found it. Probably in some bubblegum wrapper. But it says, love asks us not... What the hell? Love asks... It's been in my pocket for so long I can barely read it. Love asks us that we try to be a little braver than is comfortable. A little more generous. A little more flexible. It means living on the edge more than we care to. Huh? Eh? That's kind of what I'm talking about. I could have just said that. Anyway, good day, beautiful people. Peace be with you.